Slack channel. So please do that. All right, we're going to get to the fun stuff. So thank you for bearing with me through the announcements. I'm really delighted to welcome a dear friend and, super energetic speaker. There are very few people I meet in the world whose energy matches and surpasses mine. And I think Kyle Mealy is one of those people. So you're really going to enjoy hearing from him today as he shares on a topic we talk about a lot at Authentic Brand, but he's got a really unique perspective based on the work that his team at Rocket Clicks does. So today, Kyle is going to share with us on the idea of marketing ROI with the subtitle, Are You Spending Dollars That Don't Make Sense? As in pennies. Isn't that clever? Good twist on words there. And Kyle, I love this topic because actually our next webinar is also going to be on marketing ROI from a different perspective. So we're on the same wavelength, my friend. So I'm going to go ahead and stop sharing my screen so you can pull up your slides, Kyle. And I will.
First of all, sorry.
Oh, go. I'm turning the virtual microphone over to you right now.
Oh, perfect. It's so good to be here. Thank you, Jen. Yes, you fill my cup. You crack me up, and I'll do my best to bring the energy. Really, really excited to be here. If you don't know much about me or Rocket Clicks is a digital marketing agency, and I sit in the sales and marketing seat. We love the work that Authentic Brand does, and in my past life, I was an integrator. So, I came to Rocket Clicks and kind of brought some process and concepts to how we think about ROI and how we support entrepreneurial businesses in generating ROI, not just in like the dollars way, but also in like the process way. And so that's the kind of gift I want to give today, is just some perspective that we've seen, working with about 40% of our businesses run on some operating system. And so these are just some tactical level tools, and hopefully you'll enjoy some of the process and the cuteness that I like to bring. So we call this the IFS marketing method: investment, functioning, and support. I'll kind of go through each of these at a real high level and kind of talk about why it's IFS. So first one is investment. If you are considering doing marketing, or you have a marketing department reporting to you, all the way from the CFO seat to understanding the financial inputs that you want to put in, and then understanding what a realistic return is. I can't tell you how many times I run into businesses that really don't understand what a realistic return or timeline is for their marketing, and then having a reliable method of measurement. So when we think about investment, that's what we're talking about. And next is functioning. This will warm your hearts. It's a marketing process, a true marketing machine, not somebody doing stuff with marketing, and then integrating it into the sales process. That's one of the biggest holes that we come across. We're the tip of the spear. We're generating those leads, or that new business, and then somebody has to do something with it sometimes, and usually it's sales or operations. So it does blend over, and if you don't have really crystal clear understanding of that process, I think that you're going to be limited, and that's not the goal of what we're all trying to do. And then finally, support. Marketing is such a funny beast. It's, most accountability charts or organizational charts that I see, have a very healthy operations or client service side. And then marketing's kind of like over here, there's like two people and they all kind of do a lot of stuff. So just making sure you're aligning your specialties, your expertise, and the time, and making it realistic. Again, that's, I think, a headline here is having all the pieces work together, and I'm hoping I'm warming some of your hearts with what I'm talking about. We call it IFS because if you aren't calibrating on your goals or your timeline, or if you don't have a marketing process, a strategy for your tactics, overcoming random acts of marketing like Authentic Brand talks about, there's going to be a downstream impact that's going to flow all the way across the business. And then finally, if you're putting the wrong people in the wrong seat as far as support and level of expertise, well, you're going to have some more trouble. So if you're not doing all of these things, you are likely going to run into spending marketing dollars that don't make CENTS sense. So first wing, obviously we're in digital marketing, and that classically has been a very attribution heavy world, where we can basically say, okay, you spent X dollars and you generated Y return. And that's what we're talking about with attribution. Somebody does something online, you can see it on your website, or you can see it on your P&L. Understanding how marketing is an investment. It is not a light switch, as people still think. And then metrics and measurables, like what is the reliable way we are investing in scoring that investment? So what I wanted to give you is like, here's the best case scenario. I know it never happens as easy as we all want, and everything in presentations usually makes it look like it's easy. I know this isn't easy, but I want to give you guys some real tangible things to leverage in your own executive meetings. So the first thing is the cookieless world, and I'm specifically talking about digital here. iOS 14 update had a major impact on digital agencies like ours. It hit all of us fairly equal to not be able to track some of the conversions and the results of our marketing efforts. Most agencies will have still some form of pitch around direct ROI on dollars in, dollars out. It's going away. And the next generation of digital marketing will be more gray than black and white. And on top of all of that, digital has become easier. If you've been living under a rock, you have not heard of ChatGPT. That's going to increase the quality, the speed of marketing content that goes out. So again, this world is getting so competitive, and it's not as easy to tell what's winning and what's losing. So one of the things we're teaching our clients, and we're teaching just the entrepreneurial community, is about moving away from this last click attribution. Hey, my user touched my brand a couple times online. I'm going to spread that value out equally when I look at, how marketing's working. It really actually doesn't give you the full picture. And so what we're starting to teach our clients about is incremental attribution. You're going to actually look at the whole funnel. You're going to look at your return on investment on the sales side or the revenue side, or back to the P&L. And then understanding that if you have really quality metrics there, you can see what happens when you lift this one and how it impacts over here. Or you can even zero in, hey, we're going to go up funnel here for a little bit. We're going to spend some money on raising awareness about our brand. We're going to use paid ads to get in front of new eyeballs. And then we should see some sort of change here. So last click would say, oh, actually it was Google search that returned the best dollar. Let's spend more money there. And then we don't necessarily get that return. So incremental attribution is a way to make more dollars than cents. Another thing is marketing is an investment. If you don't really understand your buyer cycle, if it's months, weeks, or days, you need to calibrate your marketing around it. So if your cycle is 6 months like ours is, we cannot stop really investing after 5 months. Like that just isn't going to work. I think of this as like, you never take out your 401k gains 2 days after you deposited. You'd be like, I got 14 cents, take it. It doesn't work like that. So we also recommend trends versus transactions. Like, what's our 6-month rolling average? How are we benchmarking against this duration effect? So we can actually understand our whole business and how our whole marketing from top of funnel to bottom of funnel is working. So I'll just give a brief pause. I'm a fire hoser, so I apologize in advance, but I hope this is resonating. I'll jump into functioning. This one, again, warms the integrator and 2IC heart. Are you building a marketing machine? Do you have a marketing process? Are you managing your data in a high quality way? This one, I can tell you, I have seen time and time again from businesses between 5 and 50 million. They think they have data quality, but they don't. And then sales support. This is classic between 5 and 10 million. Like usually there's a marketing issue or a sales support issue, and which one is it? And as a 2IC integrator, you have to understand how each play. And then finally, making sure you're picking the right tactics. Visionaries are classic for this. They go to their YPO, their Vistage meeting, which thank you, Jen, for building this community, because there wasn't anything like that. And they get a really cool idea and they come in and they try and slam it into marketing, and it doesn't always work. So here's a cute little one I built. It doesn't mean it's the right one. This is just one that I hope you see as like, oh, if we don't have something like this, it's going to be difficult for us to succeed in marketing. This one's fairly simple. It's throw money into marketing. Do we get more back? Yes. Okay. Let's test if it's scalable. Throw more back in without changing anything substantial. Did we get more back out, incrementally? And the answer is no. Okay. Well, go to your funnel, look at your strategy, rework, and then retest the same goals. And this is a process. This is a simple way to test if it's working or not. Again, not something we see very consistently in the businesses we work with. My team calls this the Death Star. I think of it as visionary defense and joy for the folks like you all. I know it's a little crazy, but the marketing function is really wide ranging. If you look at the right there, you can see those are all the different channels. On the top, you've got all the like improvement processes. And so we actually go through this pretty consistently and get it down to checkbox level. Most marketing is reactive, not proactive. This is how we kind of have shifted it. And then now we're giving it out to others. So I'll break it down just a little bit more. If you saw all those colors, those are seasons. We understand every business has a season. And then we also looked at, we have to look at target audience too. So we go through, we decide we're going to do this target audience and market niche review. We're going to look at our clients. We're going to look at our current clients. We're going to look at our ideal. We're going to look at our client persona, because we have actually found that businesses operate independently of the marketing leader or the visionary or the integrator. Like their business is sometimes more mature, or sometimes the leadership is more mature. And so those are two things we have to consider. And so that's part of our process in our target audience. So this is something I can hand to our marketing manager who can go execute against, like he's either moving this forward or he's not. We want it to be big enough that people can get it done, or big enough that it holds enough, but not too like checkboxy. So trying to find that balance is kind of a fun thing. Next one is a personal story. We didn't really have some of these data management systems when I came. And so we've really built out, we started in Sheets for tracking all of our sales and marketing efforts. Moved to a relationship database. You can see underneath there, the Airbase is one of them. And, going to Salesforce has been a huge lift for us. What we have been challenged with is really questioning our data integrity. And because we're benchmarking our scores and then we're using this for clients as well, they're having so good conversations about like what's true and what's not in their businesses. And that's been really impactful. Like we've seen people have, oh my gosh, we just realized that we don't have good data architecture. And so they're investing in that infrastructure. Or we're seeing that, my gosh, we have now learned that there's this huge hole in sales because we can now see it because of the data. And so they're starting to invest in sales leadership. And then finally, back to digital marketing, when you have a propped up data system, you can take advantage of what the algorithms and the smart robots or whatever happens in the digital space, whatever Google and all of them are up to, you can actually feed that data back to them and leverage the power of AI. And if you're not doing that, you're leaving a lot of opportunity on the table, because they are really good at finding new targets, depending on how well you feed that system. So just like ChatGPT, if you give it garbage in, garbage out, if you give garbage data to the algorithms, you'll get garbage output. But this is a way to level that up. So been through that journey. I'm sure you all have seen painful stories like that, as well as you question, was it 2022 when we had 38 people or 40 people? And how much do we spend on marketing that quarter? Those kind of funny questions. And everything that we do in marketing generally at some point has some piece of sales in our B2B or our lead gen clients. I love this slide. It cracks me up because there's a big difference between a relationship lead, which we see a lot of entrepreneurial businesses spending a lot of their growth on, is referrals. But when they start getting cold marketing generated leads, it's not as simple as it used to be. And so we're currently on step 6 with y'all, trying to make it laugh a little bit about scaling up the marketing and sales branch of your business. So here's your silly cartoons. And it wouldn't be a presentation from me if Authentic Brand knows me without at least one silly cartoon. So finally, we've got our ifs, right? We've got our investment. Are we functioning? We know how many dollars we want to put in. We're calibrating around our realistic results. We have a system upon which to flow through those dollars and what choices we're making with marketing. Okay, now we're on closer to the execution. How are we actually going to go make this happen in the real world? So we're going to give you some ideas about how to evolve your marketing to the next level. We're going to focus on digital hours to dollars, like when we're actually measuring, are we spending money that makes sense? We'll talk about that. And then what the highest ROI investment we've ever seen is, I want to give you that as well. Here's another funny cartoon. I can't tell you how many entrepreneurial leaders I talk to who scream about needing a website. And really, that's not the issue. It's a little more involved and trickier than that. What we just talked about with the data management side is this: we need new marketing tech like that. That's a really interesting sign. That's when I've seen people really start to grow and scale their marketing. If we're still talking about organic social, sometimes that means we're not there yet. And this isn't a judgment on those folks. It's just like, there's very clear sequencing that we see in the evolution. And my job, my hope is to give you an on-ramp beyond that. So we found these 3 levels really interestingly, and they show up and we can categorize them almost instantly. We call them foundations, next level, and then enterprise or scale is sometimes another one we use. Foundations is I need leads. You have a visionary who, or your business is dying for leads or growth or new top line revenue. Next level is when they're starting to play with multiple tactics. These are the folks, this is usually when you have your first marketing hire, a really strong marketing leader comes in, and they're like, let's go on TikTok, or how do we do attribution modeling? Like those are the questions that those folks are trying to solve. And at the scale, this is when they have that marketing leader, they have an established marketing identity, they have an established marketing process. And now they're saying, how many dollars in? And they can incrementally understand like, okay, I know that if I put in new dollars, I'm going to take 6 months, and here are the signals in between that tells me my dollars are going well. And then they can actually adjust in the fly because they have the right talent and resources spread around them. They are very, very scary, nimble, even though they're big. They're really, really interesting to work with. As you start to make your talent assessments and start to make sure you're getting your best dollars back, if you're misaligned with where you are in your digital marketing evolution, if you're spending on talent that's not aligned with where you are and what your business needs, that's when you get the friction. So this is a really simple tool. Almost every agency in the country leverages this number. It's that 25,000 number up here. So if the goal for a single employee of Rocket Clicks is to manage about $25,000 in revenue. Now ours is a little bit different, but this is just kind of a level set for most agencies. The fee that the agency charges to have access to that analyst, that strategist, that account manager, whoever's doing the buttons, the ones and the zeros in that business or for that business, you can actually kind of see how their hours are then broken out. And this is fairly realistic across the board. So a good example, we see a lot of agencies in the $1,500 to $2,500 range. I'm not saying they're bad. All I'm saying is like, you're going to get probably them managing between 10 and 20 clients. They're probably spending 2 to 3, maybe 4 hours on your business a week. But if you've already assessed that you need only that much work, well, that's where your best bang for your buck's going to be. And now you just got to make sure you have the right level of expertise from that one individual on that agency that you're talking to, whether it be an account manager or whoever the rep is. The more you go up closer to someone full-time and in fee, obviously you're getting more hours. I know this is fairly simple, but most people don't think of their fee this way, and most agencies won't exactly tell you how those hours are split. This is just reality. So we wanted to give you that. If you need a generalist and you're hiring an expensive specialist, you're going to go negative here. This is the number one secret, and I'm not even going to lie to you. We are very specialized. We do SEO, we do paid media, and 99% of the time, if there is a really powerful marketing leader in the seat, they generate the highest ROI because they have their pulse on all the things I've talked about. They have all the ifs methods laid out. They know where all the channels are. They know if we move this lever, something over here should happen, and they have reliable data that confirms it, and that allows us to test. When we can test, we can optimize, and when we can optimize, we start to make money. They organize their resources really efficiently. So really potent. I know I'm pandering to my friend Jen, but like it's reality. I've seen it happen over and over again that the marketing leader is the biggest equation differentiator. It isn't the tactic. It has never been the tactic. It's the level of the leader that sends the tactic at the right time, at the right level. This is obviously a fire hose. I went very fast to be respectful of time and your time and energy. I'm going to do this full version. There's a 50-minute version at the EOS conference coming up here in April. So if you'd like to see that, I will be doing it as a pre-conference. Or if you want to talk about anything I shared in here, I will always give my calendar, especially to special people like you, because I know what it is like to not have access to this information without communities like this.
Awesome. Thank you, Kyle. Boy, we appreciate all of the knowledge that goes behind that fire hose of yours. And I was watching our audience of members along